Buff Nation.
Let's go.
Let's go, man.
Let's absolutely go.
Great vibes today. We are presented by Illegal Pete's. Check out any of their 10 Colorado locations for their happy hour 3 to 6 p.m. Shout out to those guys. We love them. My name is Jake Scwanitz, joined, of course, by RK. How you doing, man?
It's another great weekend.
Yeah.
I think I said it on like Wednesday's show of last week. I was like, seems like it's been a while since the Buffs got a commitment. It's got to be coming soon.
Yep. Well, what do you know? We got 3 of them.
Boom.
2.5. I was going to say one's a little underwhelming, but 2 that could be quite impactful. That's where we're going to start today with the news. We're going to be talking about the Coach Prime documentary in the second segment, and then, of course, get to your guys' questions. If you want to throw them in the chat right now, Kale will star them, and we will get to them. But we start with the 2023 transfer class. Guess who's at the top now, Ryan?
The Colorado Buffalo. Speaking of things I said on the show last week, I said I'll put my name on it now, but when all is said and done, the Buffs will have the #1 transfer class in the country. It took all of 48 hours after I said that for it to happen.
Yes, it did. They were hanging around the top 5 for quite a while. I think top 3 last week pretty consistently, and now solidified at #1. Travis Hunter, of course, the headliner, but a few 4-stars thrown in there, and we got another guy coming in from Florida, a former 4-star recruit.
Good luck.
God help me. Yusuf Mugarbil.
Mugarbil?
Mugarbil.
We're going to need your help, Yusuf.
Yes.
Only you can help us here.
Yes. He was a 2021 4-star recruit. He's listed at 6'5", 311 pounds, and has yet to take a collegiate snap. But a highly touted recruit nonetheless, and another beefy guy to help the interior offensive line.
Where's the beef? It's coming.
Yes, sir.
It's absolutely coming. Again, just the fact that they're already starting to build depth on the offensive line. Remember way back when I said the hardest piece to add in the transfer portal is offensive line?
Right.
And they've added several starters. I don't know, more than 2, I guess less than 5. But they've added multiple starters and are now starting to add behind that. And they're going to have options. They're going to have battles. They're going to have, depth at offensive line. It's just shocking to me, honestly.
Quality depth, too. 4-star, 5-star guys, 6'8", 6'9" guys. True beasts on the offensive line.
Yeah, Travis Hunter's going to start recruiting them to go and play in his pickup game at the CU Rec Center, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw this, but some Instagram stories, Snapchats, etc. came out from that, and not surprising from a #1 recruit in the country, but Travis Hunter can hoop.
He's got bunnies like crazy.
Yes, I honestly wouldn't doubt that he could do a free throw line dunk.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's just flying through the air. At one point, he crosses this kid up to the point where the kid is like 8 feet away from him when he shoots a 3. Just incredible.
He is a special athlete for sure. One of the other big commitments we got, Miles Slusher. He transfers in from Arkansas. He's listed at 6'1", 196 pounds. I don't have it in front of me. I believe he was a 2020 recruit. He's played the last 3 years at Arkansas, totaling 93 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 11 TFLs, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions.
He's kind of a dog. If you watch his tape at Arkansas, honestly, 6'1" surprised me because his body's a little bit longer than that. You know what I mean? Long limbs. And that makes him feel like maybe he has a little bit more range, but also can just lay the boom. And, has been playing in the SEC, like playing, not just like the offensive lineman who was recruited to the SEC but didn't play. No. He's been playing in the SEC and laying licks on big-time players, stronger players and bigger players than he's going to be facing in the Pac-12. If I were to guess right now, I would say he starts.
Yeah, he's very talented. Was a 4-star recruit in the 2020 class. According to 247's rankings, the 8th safety overall, 121st player nationally. Has been productive in spots for Arkansas. Now he gets to play under Coach Prime, Charles Kelly. Who else am I forgetting? Vincent Dancy, I think. Safety, or not Vincent Dancy. MVSU guy. I can't remember his name.
Oh, geez. No, that is him.
That is him?
Dancy is MVSU.
Dancy? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's going to get coached up. He's already got the talent. And the headliner of the weekend, Ryan, former JSU long snapper,
Hey!
Jacob Polite, transfers in.
I want to be polite here and not say anything. No, I'm just kidding. Good for him. Hey, he must have had a good record of snaps at JSU.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Coach Prime documentary in a minute here, but you saw the game where they basically won on his back.
Yep.
Knocked through 4, I think, field goals in the game.
Mr. Mata, yeah.
And can't kick the field goal without the snap.
Yes, sir. I don't know, just a quick little takeaway. They've completely redone these specialist positions and brought in a lot of competition, at least, is what it seems. And that's pretty much going to be the theme, I think, going through spring and summer. So,
Yep.
All right, on to the 2024 class. A few notable prospects have listed there. We got a top 10 and a top 8. James Madison II is a 4-star wide receiver who introduced his top 10. Mizzou, Oregon, LSU, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Florida State, Penn State, South Carolina, Auburn, and CU.
Wild, bro. It's just everyone. Buffs are in on everyone.
They are in on absolutely everyone. You want to take a wild guess where he went to high school?
Can you give me a state?
Florida.
St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yes, sir. Well done. 4-star recruit. According to 247's player rankings, 221 overall in the 24 class, consensus 177th overall.
If they get Cormani McLean, I have a feeling the Florida to CU pipeline is going to explode. Now, it's probably going to either way.
Right.
But the combination of Coach Prime, Travis Hunter, Cormani McLean in Boulder, I just have a feeling is going to make waves.
Right.
Among those recruits and just make a lot of guys think if they want to come to Boulder with them.
For sure. How about a guy from Chicago, though, named Justin Scott, who is a 247 Sports composite 5-star, a 247 Sports 4-star. He listed a top 8. USC, Notre Dame, Oregon, Miami, Ohio State, Alabama, Michigan, CU.
Let's go.
That is insane.
It really is. It really is.
He's listed at 6'5", 315 pounds, plays defensive lineman. The 4th-ranked defensive lineman according to 247 Sports Composite. He looks like a stud.
Yeah, and those are the places where they could really make it happen. Gosh, I had something I was going to say. Oh, I remember. You keep going.
Okay. Last little nugget of news. Jake Roberts is a 2024 3-star tight end. He's been offered by CU, and if you go to his 247 Sports page, he has a crystal ball prediction to Baylor at 100%, but he's just been offered by Coach Prime and Tim Brewster.
What was the name?
Jake Roberts.
What's his size?
Give me 2 seconds here.
It's all leading into a tweet that I want to read you.
Oh, excellent. He is listed on 247 Sports at 6'4", 235.
And what's he play?
Tight end.
Okay. Tim Brewster tweet from
Let's
one
go.
day ago. This guy is a rocket with size and toughness, a must-get player for the Buffs. Hashtag play for Prime. Who could he be talking about?
Has to be Jake Roberts.
It very well could be him. There's a bunch of guys, though, that I was like, oh, who could he be talking about? There's like Tyrone Broden, who didn't end up coming this week, unfortunately.
Yeah, interesting.
It looks like he visited
Penn State.
and Oklahoma.
Oh, really? I didn't see the Oklahoma one.
Well, 3 days ago, he tweeted about visiting Oklahoma. So I don't know if that was like an end of the week type of thing, or maybe he was there on Friday. But Broden is an option. He's an option. Tesla,
Yes.
an option.
You want to talk about a guy that looks like imposing and like I would not want to line up against that guy because he looks massive.
6'4", 210, GMAC Offensive Player of the Year.
Let's go. He just has the look of just an absolute beast.
Yeah. Could also be Eric Gilbert for thinking tight ends.
Yeah. Woo. Former 5-star from Georgia. We'll see. It's going to get very interesting. We're going to talk about the Coach Prime documentary, but first I want to tell you all about. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I saw someone in the comments say like was disappointed they didn't land more this weekend. Stay tuned. Seems like this coming weekend is going to be even bigger.
Well, also just stay tuned the next few days. I mean, guys have been posting pictures. Cavassier Smoke, I know, posted pictures. I know someone else did. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was. But these guys kind of take their time in the transfer portal anyway. So
absolutely.
Before we talk about the documentary, though, I want to tell you all about Denver Health Medical, where it's open enrollment through January 15th. When is that? That is through next Sunday. So if you're looking for health insurance, make sure you hit them up. You can call direct at 303-602-4912 or sign up online at denverhealthmedicalplan.org. Their Elevate Exchange plans have options for individuals and families looking for cost-effective, quality health insurance, specifically those who do not have health insurance offered through their employer. Check them out. They also have their new virtual mental health option called Elevate Mind, a 247 at the cost of a normal copay. Great for those who need a convenient resource for mental health. As I said, open enrollment goes through January 15th. Call today at 303-602-4912 or visit www.denverhealthmedicalplan.org. Also, shout out to our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, where it's the most, for me, it's the most bittersweet time of the year because playoffs coming up, national championship.
Yep.
But football season's ending, man.
I know. It is kind of sad, but I make all my money on Nikola Jokic anyway.
That's right. Well, right now, DraftKings still going through with that promotion, but now they bumped it up to $200. If you bet $5 on any team on the money line and you win, you get $200 in free bets instantly. Do you have a pick of the week for us, Ryan?
I do. Speaking of my guy, Nikola Jokic, he is, and the Nuggets are taking on the Lakers tonight at Ball Arena. Nikola Jokic has been shooting the hell out of the ball recently. He has 8 threes in the last 5 games. His over-under is set at 0.5 tonight. So take the over on Nikola Jokic threes tonight. The juice isn't great, but we take dubs where we can get them.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code DNVR, where new customers can bet just $5 on the NFL and get $200 in free bets instantly. Again, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, let's talk about the Coach Prime documentary.
Let's.
Where do you want to start?
Well, first of all, we're starting at episode 3.
Yes, episode 3.
And I guess do you want to go micro or macro first?
Let's go micro.
Okay.
Let's ease into it a little bit.
Where do you want to start?
So near the start of episode 3, we kind of saw Travis Hunter's rehab and getting back on the field, and you saw, I don't know if you actually watched, but like that first game of the season, I believe against Florida A&M, where he kind of played, but he wasn't exactly healthy, obviously on the field. But then you can see the difference between an unhealthy and a healthy Travis Hunter right away in the episode 3 when the release you told me about that he hits in practice. Whew.
It's one of the nastiest routes I've ever seen. I'm actually, maybe I'll go do it tonight. I'm mad at myself that I didn't pause it, rewind it, clip it, and put it on Twitter, because the dude is just running a slant, but he gives him a little fake on the out route and absolutely sends this kid, just like he did on the basketball court. That route running, I mean, it's legitimately Jerry Jeudy-esque.
Yes.
When you see it, and I'm starting to agree with you that maybe. I mean, he's going to be an NFL player regardless, but maybe he has the highest ceiling at wide receiver.
Yeah, he's dynamic, man. Just seeing how he grinded through injury, too. Let's go a bit more macro. At the beginning of episode 3, I can't remember who the coach is, but the Who is Swat controversy came up.
Yes.
Eddie Robinson
Jr.,
yes.
I believe. Mm-hmm. What a interesting battle to pick.
Yes.
And it's one that I think a lot of people, other coaches in the SWAC, learned from his mistake.
Yeah, for sure.
It was just odd. I would guess it was some sort of recruiting ploy,
right.
like, he's not really one of us, blah, blah, blah. But man, did Coach Prime just bury him, use it as a branding opportunity. He's got the shirt on. They got the chant going. It was just ultimate backfire. And again, I just don't know why you would want to pick a fight with Coach Prime.
Provided one of Coach Prime's greatest quotes from last season, and it's, if he ain't swag, who is swag?
Yeah, if I ain't swag, who is swag? Yeah, that's that was something.
It really was.
And it's an interesting, I don't know exactly how to word this, but he knows how to take anything and turn it into something that works for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a beautiful thing. It's a rare talent where you just can't really throw anything at him because he always knows how he can take it.
It's like a duck, man. It's just water off his back almost every time.
It's almost like a great freestyle rapper.
Right.
And it's like anything you say, you're just setting him up for a bar later.
Yeah, for sure. Next big takeaway for me was just obviously episode 3, homecoming. But the culture at JSU, just how seriously they take homecoming, how they get up for it, how festive it is. It was just really cool to watch. Game day, or not game day, Good Morning America shows up with Michael Strahan for it. It just seemed like a massive party. And I remember seeing people in the comments saying, if you guys ever come out to Jackson, you got to come for homecoming. It looks amazing.
If we ever were to, that would be the time to go. And it made me sad because someone tweeted at me this weekend saying something along the lines of like, well, like, what's up with CU's homecoming? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, that's, as was outlined in there, I think it was Bartoloni who was like, yeah, at other, PWIs as they call them, it's not like this, and it's very much not like that in Boulder, which is sad because it looks like an amazing time.
Yeah.
But there's homecoming itself is really like it's in Boulder. Its meaning to me is that my friends who went to school often choose that as the game to come back to and go to.
Right.
But there's not any like festivities or special attractions that at least draw a crowd. Like I think they do a parade and like things like that. I just don't think anyone goes to it.
Yeah. It took me a while to even remember what the homecoming game was last year, and it was the Arizona State game.
Yes, which I wasn't even there for, sadly.
Yeah. That was a Jordan Tyson breakout moment. That's when he earned
right.
Player of the Week offense and special teams. But yeah, I mean,
one of my 3 home games that I've missed in the last 21 years.
That's all right. It gets better. But yeah, man, it'd be cool to see CU kind of turn up for homecoming and really make an event out of it. I'm sure with Coach Prime at the helm now, they're going to do something different, right?
Well, and I just think there could be those sort of like cultural impacts of Coach Prime and, just everything that he brings to Boulder. I hope he all it takes is like one quote, right? Where he's just like, hey, like, why don't we get homecoming popping around here? Like, it's not going to be the same, of course. And, only in our dreams could it ever be. But even just making it more of an event and making it more of something that people, put on their calendars and whatever would be cool.
Mm-hmm. On the culture, though, I just thought that, we learned a lot about JSU in that episode 3, learned a lot about the history of HBCUs and just the pride that those people take in their school, in their city, I thought was really cool. And it's easy to see how this city and just community got so united around Coach Prime and the football team, because not only did he lean into it, but they just love Jackson. They love Jackson State.
Yeah, and I loved like the players talking about Jackson. I can't remember if it was Bolden, maybe. I think it was Bolden, who was just talking about like how much he loves the city of Jackson, and how much he'll be back, and he'll always show love to the city. Hopefully, they always show love to him. Like, it was just cool, and it's one of my favorite things about college sports, really sports in general, but in this context, college sports is like these guys, and this is going to happen a lot, these guys end up in places they would have never gone otherwise. Even Coach Prime said he had never been to Jackson, Mississippi before he had the interest in this job. But, for example, like Evan Batty, who played for the basketball team, maybe you never would have set foot in Boulder, Colorado if it weren't for the fact that he was a student athlete and was recruited by the Buffs and loved Coach Boyle and decided to join what was a historic class at the time. He comes to CU, ingratiates himself with the community immediately, spends 4 or 5 years playing well, obviously overcomes a stroke that he has his freshman year, and now he forever holds a place within the community. And anytime he comes back, they'll show him on the screen and he gets a standing ovation. And it's just like the way that especially these college-specific communities will rally around a personality or a player based on things they've been through or things that they do while they're on campus is just a really special effect. And I think that this episode did a great job of showing some of those stories.
For sure. Nugget was a great story too. Just, I mean, he's someone who's dealt with a lot in his personal life, a lot of mental struggles, and just seems like he's been in a great environment or was in a great environment at Jackson State with just the general support structure that university and that city has been able to create. That was honestly my biggest takeaway from these last 2 episodes, just how cool Jackson, like the campus seems. Like it is alive when you're walking through campus. Like there's all sorts of stuff going on. People putting on performances of all kinds.
Yep, really cool.
Just a lot of fun. Let's talk about our guy. We got a segment from Alejandro Mata.
Yes.
That was cool, man.
It was cool. I loved, because he was a freshman too. And so he's experiencing all the stuff we just talked about for the first time. But, like, I loved them showing him, like, watching the dances during homecoming.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, I forget what game it was. It's hard to remember because they go through them pretty quickly. They won a game completely on his shoulders. And it was a little bit of a peek inside of why Coach Prime loves him and trusts him, the whole game ended up being on his shoulders because it was just field goal, field goal, field goal, field goal. And he went out there and he knocked it down every time. Now, none of them looked particularly difficult.
Right.
But I just think that moment, the pressure, all of that comes with it. Coach Prime has a trust for Automata, and it makes sense to me why he wanted to bring him here.
Exactly. That right there. I mean, not to get into the kicker drama, but Coach Prime really trusts Mata. I trust Mata just because of that.
Yeah, I mean, trust is everything when it comes to a kicker. Now, that doesn't mean that Cole Becker couldn't have earned his trust or Jace Feely won't earn his trust. But in a position like that where it's so black and white, you either make it or you miss it.
Right.
There's no effort questions like there are. Like there's so much that goes into a player anywhere else on the field, whereas kicker is just, do I trust you to make the kick? And he trusts him. And so I understand why he wanted to bring a guy in who he knew all else fails, I trust Mata.
And now he's got the advantage of playing at elevation in the thin air, Boulder, Colorado. I'm sure that career long is going to be, it'll I guess grow. It'll be a longer career long after this next season.
Or he'll just never have to try a long field goal.
That would be great too. Just kick extra points.
Yes.
Wrapping up episode 3, the celebrities that he brings on the field. How that hypes up the team before the game, during the game, hypes up the crowd. Yeah. Get ready, man.
It's going to be insane. And I do think there is a way to, like, work in these celebrities with the run out with Ralphie. We saw last week some of his concerns about Ralphie were eased a little bit.
Yeah.
Found some common ground with the 8 toes. But even like the Ralphie director told him, like, Ralphie goes first. You don't have to worry about that. But, like, you could give Snoop or whoever it is like a Buffs flag running out there with him too. I think there will be some wild scenes on the sideline in Boulder this year, starting with that Nebraska game, which might just be everything.
That might become like a Colorado holiday after whatever happens.
Well, and I assume they'll do a bunch of official visits that week because it's in September
for sure.
So the weather will be incredible, which the weather, a lot of people are learning, is almost always incredible.
Yeah.
But early September, hot day. Beautiful, packed house, big game. Celebrities are going to want to be there. Potentially game day. They might bring in 30 official visits that weekend.
Right. To go back to your point about the weather, we got a tweet from Deion Sanders now about the weather.
Yes. No, this was about the scenery.
Or the scenery, that's what it was. I'm trying to find it. The scenery every day in Colorado is amazing with the hard eye emoji.
It really is, and
especially out in Boulder.
I was just gonna say it's on a different level in Boulder.
Yeah.
It almost bums me out a little bit that I grew up there, so it became so normal to me to just look outside and see that level of scenery. But now that I've lived in Denver for almost a decade. It's like when you come back and you drive over that hill and you're coming over into over 36 and coming down into the Boulder Valley, it's just like, damn. Like, I can't imagine. I just wish I could experience that for the first time. Like what that looks like when you pull in.
Not to go too off topic, but on Saturday for the basketball game, when I was driving in, I come over the hill and I saw the stadium lights on, and I was just imagining what was going on because the field had to be still covered in snow. They're probably still taking pictures out there with a bunch of recruits and stuff.
Yep, for sure.
Haven't seen anything yet, but they got to be coming.
I mean, we've seen some of the classic car pics from this last weekend, but yeah, I think a lot of they do a lot of like events in that area where we went for the NIL thing, right there in the end zone, and then they'll obviously take them to the Champion Center. I just think they want it lit up when they look out onto the field.
Yeah, it just looked really cool. Episode 4, titled "The Perfect Season." It's not the conclusion that the episode title kind of made it sound to be, though. I think that's one of our big takeaways.
So originally they said it was a 4-part docuseries, and I can't imagine it ends there. Maybe there's only one more episode coming, which would make sense, right? You tie a bow on the Celebration Bowl and the move to Colorado. But if that is the end, an odd ending in my opinion. My big takeaway from this and really both episodes was how great Coach Prime's speeches are.
Yes.
And I almost feel like it's an underrated part of a coach because some of them don't do it. I talked to a player on the Broncos who was talking about, I asked him about like, what are Vic's speeches like when Vic Fangio was that coach? And he was just like, he doesn't really give them. He just says like, let's go get him. And he goes. And then you could contrast that with Coach Prime in there before the games, but even the halftime is what really got me going. I can't remember what game it was. I think they were up 21-17 at halftime of one of the games. And he said he was so disappointed when he did his sideline interview with the pregame show. And then just goes off in the locker room, but not like cursing guys out. Obviously, he doesn't even curse. And not like demeaning them, just reminding them of the expectations that he has for them and what they're capable of. And then they go out there and they absolutely blow the doors off their opponent in the second half. And it's just like, man, this guy really knows how to play the right notes to get guys fired up. And I'll go back to a conversation we had with Charles Johnson when he was on the set with us. And, he was talking about the similarities between Coach McCartney and Coach Prime. And I talked about kind of one of the things that I said reminds me of them. And it's that motivational aspect, which we already know just how great of a speaker Coach Prime is. But man, when he like gets in his bag and he starts riling those guys up, it goes a long way.
Yeah, his intensity and his passion just for the game, not only for the game, but for young people and just coaching, not football, but life to these people and trying to put into words just the impact of the opportunity that's in front of a lot of these people, students or not. It's profound. I mean, we kind of got a firsthand experience ourselves during that introductory press conference. You really felt the passion and the power that he has just as a person and as a motivator. Probably the most interesting part of these 2 episodes that we watched, at least for me, was when Mark Pope was voted off the team.
What a moment.
Yes.
I felt like, just personally, from an editorial standpoint, we could have tapped into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there was a few pieces missing of that story. I didn't really know what was happening when the scene was going on until the very end. And so the big question I had was, did the players know who he was talking about?
I don't think they did.
I don't think that they did either. And that was interesting.
Yeah.
But it's funny, Jake, I've literally been in the exact same scenario in my life where a player on our team screwed up. And the coach essentially said, the only way you get to stay on this team is if every player on the team votes for you to stay. And in this case, we all did. We voted for him to stay. In their case, it was more than half voted for them to go. And in the doc, you didn't really know what happened or why that came up, but it was very interesting to see Coach Prime allow that to be a democracy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think the coaches even expected that either. I can't remember which coach it was, but he kind of turned to the coaches when he started the whole thing about doing the vote, and one of the coaches is like, think about it, think on it.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I already have. Like, he kind of already made up his mind, and he just wanted the team's thoughts on it, I guess. And just the way he described the situation, I mean, it was intense, man. And I could not imagine really being in Mark Pope's shoes. I've got a tweet from him here, since deleted. It's pretty long. But he kind of gives his side of the story to things. Basically, the gist of it, I guess he entered the transfer portal. He was at Miami, comes to Jackson State. Before he was even enrolled, had like a practice or whatever at Jackson State, got hurt, which, pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And then he comes back to Jackson in August around camp. Said he missed camp due to that injury and then was not allowed to travel with the team, which he said was no reason. And then he entered the portal again after the first game, came back out of the portal, and then this is when all this kind of went down where he was not getting playing time. Apparently, this is what he said during that situation that kind of forced the vote. Apparently, he said, fuck this shit, I'm ready to go home. But he said that he never said anything about the family at Jackson State or the team. That's what Coach Prime overheard, was saying that he wanted to go home, and that's kind of how it went. Yeah.
There's more to that story.
Yep, for sure.
There's always more to that story. It's the old two sides of the story and the truth scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there was more at play there than just that.
Yep.
But it was interesting, and it was clear that, to me at least, that they had a conversation before that team meeting, and Coach Prime told him, I'm leaving it up to the team.
Yep.
And so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, super intense. Kind of glossed over this one, but the start of episode 4, College Game Day was at Jackson State.
Wow.
It was lit.
Electric.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly when the last time game day was in Boulder, but it was a long time ago, and it's got to happen this year.
I figured this out. So we've got a DNVR Die Hard article. It's kind of from all the beats that's coming out really soon. And one of our points for the Buffs is about College Game Day. The article is 20 Buffs predictions for 2023.
Oh.
I believe, so Nuggets came out today. I don't know who comes out tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure ours comes out on Wednesday. Anyways, my point is I kind of dug deep and tried to figure out when the last time game day was not only in Boulder, but the Buffs participated in a game day game.
Mm-hmm.
So last time was September 13th, 1997. Do you know who they played?
September 13th, so it's got to be at the beginning of the season. 97.
This wasn't in Boulder.
Okay, this is on the road. I'm going to guess Florida State.
Michigan Wolverines. The 14th ranked Michigan Wolverines took on the 8th ranked Buffs. I'm pretty sure Michigan won that game. Last time College Game Day was in Boulder was the year before for the same matchup.
Okay.
96.
So it was kind of like the Miracle at Michigan rematch.
Yes, I think so.
Of course, if you guys, I feel like most sports fans are familiar with the play.
The Cordell Stewart play.
But if you aren't, Google it. Miracle at Michigan. Buffs, Hail Mary, last play of the game. Cordell Stewart to Michael Westbrook. I think he throws the ball 76 yards, 76 air yards
It's
from where he releases it.
a tremendous like video game throw.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can throw that far with 99 throw power in a video game. But just one of the most amazing moments. So I assume they kind of renewed the series, and game day said, okay, we got to be there for this one.
If the scene's at Jackson for game day or anything to go by, and they do get game day, maybe it's the Nebraska game, maybe it's the USC game, just any game, it's going to be insane in Boulder.
There's just no way they don't do this, just because of the way that Coach Prime attracts people, attracts eyeballs, attracts interest. And so to this day, Jake, they're playing the national championship today. Obviously, both of those two teams are making big headlines, but I don't know if there's a team being talked about as much that is obviously nowhere near the playoff. But out of anyone other than the teams that were in the playoff than Colorado.
Right.
So everyone knows that Coach Prime drives ratings, drives eyeballs. Game day will be there in Boulder this year. I feel confident in that.
Me too. Just a couple more talking points. I think we actually covered most everything this time. Jackson State got their rings in episode 4. They were sweet.
They were sweet. That really confused me because I didn't realize they were the rings from the previous season.
Me too, yes.
So I'm like, wait, when was the championship game? I was like, did I miss something? Like, I feel like I checked a tweet or two during the show, but I feel like I didn't miss an entire championship game. But man, those were awesome. And and Coach Prime said that's what it's all about.
It is.
The best thing that can happen is the feeling when you open that box, put that ring on your finger. That's the best thing you can do in football. And I cannot wait for that to happen for Colorado.
I love how their rings you could pop off the top and they could put it on a chain or something too. That's dope.
That's a big thing. I think the Broncos Super Bowl 50 ring was one of the first ones that you could do that with.
Hell yeah. That's awesome stuff. Last part, towards the end of episode 4, we saw Coach Prime addressing the Colorado rumors. I don't think we necessarily learned anything from that. It was kind of the same content and stuff. But it was just, I mean, you saw him talking to the team after the SWAC title game and stuff, letting them know about he's leaving and all that.
One thing that was new, at least for me, was the response from the team.
Yeah.
Because you would expect a lot of guys putting their heads down or being upset. And the guys who stood up and just said, I want to thank you. You've been a father figure to me. You helped me so much. All of this stuff was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That was even just, I'm sure it wasn't everyone's feeling, but even just a few guys to have that feeling in that moment was pretty special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really cool. I mean, the love that Coach Prime has for his players and the love that he gets back from them is just amazing to see. It's honestly kind of unlike any type of coach-player relationship I've really ever seen.
Hey, Kale, could you ask them to turn the music down a little downstairs? Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it with the documentary. Did we miss any Nick Saban type stuff like we did last time?
I don't think so, man. I felt like this one is actually more focused on his coaching.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed. I just continue to be so impressed with how good of a coach he is.
Yep. Truly.
Again, I've said it a million times, but I'll keep banging this drum. Not some sort of gimmick, not some sort of shtick, not some sort of bit. Dude loves coaching and is great at it.
Yes, he is.
Thank you, Kale.
I hope we get an episode or bonus episode or something. We got to see some Celebration Bowl stuff.
It didn't end like a finale ends.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see it. Even if it ended there, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Oh, that's a good one. His reaction to the Shedeur Sanders concussion. That was when he said, Dad kind of took over at that point. I wasn't a coach. I was his dad in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And Shedeur was concussed, the way he talked about it. He didn't remember it. And just how he cared for Travis Hunter through his injury, too. I mean, he gets it for the players. He gets that, of course, every player wants to play, and of course, they're going to try their hardest to get out there, but he understands how to protect his players.
Absolutely. And even before that, I think it was a little bit foreshadowing, but Coach Prime went up to Shador after he took a hit and just said, like, you can't be taking hits like that.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I can't have you taking hits like that. And it's so true. Like,
yeah.
when I watch, it's funny because I'm watching a documentary where I know the outcome. Like, I know, like, but I see some of these hits he gets. And I'm like, no, that's my quarterback. Like, don't let him get hit like that.
Another interesting point from Lawrence there, the fact that Shiloh came back from a torn ACL after 5.5 months.
Crazy. Something that I think one of our commenters left after the show.
Yes, last week.
Last week. I did not realize that.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize that he was not himself last year.
Yeah.
So, I think, again, that word depth keeps coming up, which is a foreign word in Boulder for the last however many years.
Yeah.
But the safety depth, I mean, just Shiloh, Trevor Woods, Slusher alone is like.
And Silman Craig.
Silman Craig, yeah, I guess. I keep thinking of him as more of a nickel, but all of those, all of a sudden you have legitimate players who you can rotate in and out.
Right. Anything else before we move on to questions?
I love the way that Coach Prime avoids cursing.
Yes.
It's just like, instead of damn, it's dern.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. It cracks me up every time.
He's on it, too. It doesn't seem like he ever lets one slip.
Sure doesn't. Him and Phillip Rivers have that in common.
Yeah. Last time we talk about Phillip Rivers on this show. Before we get to your guys' questions, you guys know we love our Breck beers here at DNVR. And I can finally tell you all about the Mile High City Golden Ale that is coming out, or it's already out.
Yep.
And we're having our Breckenridge Brewery Nuggets watch party on Friday. Cale, who are they playing on Friday? Do you know?
Clippers.
They're playing the Clippers on Friday. Come hang out at the DNVR bar. We're going to have drink specials, first dibs on Breck/DNVR shirt collabs, tons of giveaways. It's going to be retro themed. And, of course, the game starts at 8 p.m. You can find all their great brews. Mountain Beach Sour. I believe they're still doing the Christmas Ale and Buddy Pass if you're interested in those, or if you want to drink for two. Fun Slinger's still out there. Check out their beer locator at www.breckbrew.com to find a Breck brew near you. All right. A lot of familiar faces. Sparky, E-Love, Jamel, what is up? Sparky asks, Slusher starting over Trevor Woods.
I don't know.
That's a great question.
It'll be interesting. I just want to know. I don't know how they're going to format this defense yet.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a couple kind of thoughts. I think we talked about like a 4-2-5, maybe not being the base, but being something they use a significant amount.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'll be interesting, like when they get on the field next to each other, because I don't want to take anything away from Trevor Woods. I feel like I've been trying to pump Trevor Woods up ever since the Coach Prime era started. But he's also was being compared to a very bad supporting cast. And it was like, Trevor Woods is dope because he actually looks like he belongs on the field. We will see once he gets out there and starts competing next to legitimate competition for his job now, who stands out. Mm-hmm. But I think you're going to see several safeties step on the field, and third down, maybe you have one of them playing as a linebacker, and you can there's a lot of different things you can do in sub packages and whatnot. So I don't know about who's going to start, but I think both of those guys are going to play a lot.
Yeah, another documentary takeaway. I don't remember who said it. It might have been Andre Hart, but it was one of the defensive coaches when they were going in to play Campbell, and they were talking about how multiple they are on defense also to try and match tempo teams. And I think we're going to see a lot of that here at CU. Just going back and watching some Charles Kelly stuff from like Florida State and like 2020 Alabama, they mix it up. They'll do 4-man fronts, 3-man fronts. They'll sometimes have one standing edge, sometimes they'll have both standing edges. They'll have big slots with safeties or linebackers, or they'll just put in another corner. It's very multiple. When it comes to Trevor Woods, though, yeah, we'll see. Rooting for him, though.
I know, and he's made some plays. He won or saved the Cal game, the one win that they got this year on an incredible play. For those of you who didn't see it, Cal wide receiver. Is it the game tying touchdown? Or would it have been game winning?
It was the game tying because the Buffs scored in overtime before that.
Right. So game tying touchdown. Cal wide receiver is wide open and is a little too nonchalant with the catch. Trevor Woods comes out of absolutely nowhere, absolutely levels the guy, knocks the ball out on third down, forcing fourth down. They don't get it on fourth down. Buffs win. Incredible moment.
That's just who he is as a player too. Just super fast and just
Wrecking
nose
ball.
for the football.
Yeah.
Yep.
Couple targeting ejections.
Yeah.
Give you an idea of how he's a little reckless out there.
He is.
And nice to have other players in the fold with
Exactly.
with the targeting stuff out there.
What's up, Jay? He asked, is it true that Colorado is the sunniest state in the country? And if so, why aren't you talking about it on every show? We pretty much do. No, seriously, people need to know and not fear the snow.
I feel like we've tried to talk about it as much as we possibly can. The weather here is divine. I don't know technically the stats on what's the sunniest state. Obviously, Florida is literally the sunset.
California's got to be
but
up there too.
The stat is that we get 300 days of sunshine.
Yep, for sure.
Every year, and it's never that cold. And when it's nice out, it is just incredible.
Well, let's go back to yesterday for our tailgate.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's like 45, but the sun is beating on you.
Yeah.
Legitimately, everyone is shedding their jackets at the tailgate. T-shirts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great day.
By the way, 155 thumbs up.
Yep.
Got to keep our streak of getting 200 before the show
jack
ends.
it up. Let's go. E-Love, did you see Shiloh, Shador, and Shalomi house shopping? I haven't seen that yet. I saw it was uploaded. Haven't watched it yet.
There's a lot of questions in here about different content have we seen.
I know.
There is so much content, and
yes.
I am not complaining. It is amazing.
It's great.
It's like a full-time job just to keep up with it.
It really is.
It's like, okay.
Tell me about it.
One of the comments is like, did you see the latest video from the pregame show?
Yeah.
It's like, damn it, they weren't even on my list.
I know.
Like, I didn't got well off.
Well, now Shiloh's blowing up
people.
his YouTube channel.
Yeah, Shiloh. Shador's got his own YouTube channel. Travis. Yeah. It's amazing, but it's like you need a list. Like literally write down, okay, don't forget to watch this one. Don't forget to watch that one.
That's what I'm doing after this is catching up on YouTube videos I haven't been able to watch the past 2 days. So
yeah, I've been, for those of you who don't know, we have a DNVR Madden League, which is
tell 'em.
Incredible. It's a 32-team Madden League, mostly Broncos fans because it started within that community, but it's expanded kind of just to the DNVR community, and it's very competitive. So like my late nights, like midnight, I just practice, and my new thing is I just throw like a well off or some video on like while I'm playing, practicing, just so I can catch up.
That's one of the first things I do when I get home is I post the podcast, and then I go to YouTube, check ours, and then I go to well off and everything else.
Yeah, it's incredible how much content there is.
It's great. Speaking of YouTube content, Lawrence asked, any news on Willie Taggart joining the staff in some capacity? He was in Boulder this past weekend, according to Well Off in the pregame show. And his son was visiting last weekend, Willie Taggart Jr. As I said, haven't caught up. In terms of the coaching staff, I actually don't really know on that one.
Really?
Well, so he was supposed to, it was like in the media before we got to talk to Coach Prime.
Yep.
It was circulating in the media that Willie Taggart was joining.
Yep. I think offensive coordinator, right? That's what.
Some kind of I don't know if it was that high.
Okay.
But it was some like notable role.
Yeah.
But then I think he came out himself and said, "No, I'm not going to be coaching at Colorado," and that he was debating. But he had some NFL offers and some other offers from Power 5 schools, I believe. So he kind of dismissed that himself, and then. I'll just say when we talked to Coach Prime, he never said his name.
Okay.
So we'll see. From Connor, for those that are familiar with the program, are you seeing going from one win to a bowl game in a year? Yes.
Yes. Yep. With the number one transfer class in the country, I think I said a couple weeks ago, like, it's fair to expect it. No, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Number one transfer class in the country. 21 right now or 23? Are they up to 23 at this point? No, 21, I think.
I can check for you here.
Maybe 22.
It's a lot.
I think because they got to number 1 before Slusher. Or no.
20 total is what it says.
Okay, well, there you go. Sorry for my fumbling there. Either
That's
way,
all right.
originally we said they can bring in, I said like upwards of 35 new players. I think we're already past that.
Mm-hmm.
So the roster has been overhauled. The transfers are high caliber players. This is not, the one win has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just throw the one win out. It's a different team.
Yep.
It's like comparing, I don't know, USC and
Before Riley and
Bowling
after?
Green.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole new team. They wear the same colors and they have the same logo, and they're gonna have a couple holdovers.
Right.
But one win has nothing to do with the Coach Prime era.
This is kind of weird. Looking at Buff Stampede, it says it was updated on the 9th, but it doesn't have Yusef's commitment or Slusher's commitment actually logged in. So, I don't know,
Okay.
22, I guess, transfer. 23 with the long snapper.
Okay, yeah.
It's growing, and
Yeah.
it's just gonna keep on going.
And I told you, and you said it too last week, like, don't worry about the scholarship number. They'll figure out how to fix that later.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to go like 10, 12 over by the time all is said and done. And I mean, I'm shocked how many players they're actually have been able to bring in here, because, like I said, I originally thought like, they can maybe get 30, 35 new players. I think they're already up at like 37, 38.
Yeah,
So
they're aiming for 50 plus.
as they should.
CSU did that last year, though.
I know. They basically just took the Nevada roster.
For sure. I
Which-
mean,
Didn't do much for them.
yeah. Yeah, we'll see what it does for them in week 3. Super chat from Brooklyn Boy. Thank you for the super chat. He said, y'all see Shiloh play the piano on Well Off Media? I did not see that one yet.
Gosh,
You can play the piano too, huh?
crazy. We need to catch up. Did you see the story of the kid in Aurora who can play the piano?
No.
It's incredible. It's like a young boy with autism in Aurora who, I guess his parents had like an old keyboard in the basement, and the kid literally just like sat down and started playing it and was
Wow.
just like making music. And then it went on to this, like, a local piano tuner was so impressed by him that he like took out of his retirement fund and spent $15,000 on buying a grand piano for this
Wow.
family in Aurora from Ghana. And now the kid is just like the kid was literally described as Mozart level.
His name is Jude Kofi. He's 11 years old.
Yes.
Crazy.
You got to watch the story. It blew my mind.
I've got it pulled up. I can't wait.
And it's like a feel-good story. Like, I shed a tear or two.
Yeah, this looks great.
Anyways.
But no, I haven't seen
We'll
Shiloh
catch up
play.
on videos tonight.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, let's go.
From Sean. What's up, Sean? Coach Prime live on set at College Game Day right now. College Game Day right now.
Oh, they're
for
probably
the
doing-
Natty.
Damn.
Oh, shit. We missed.
I know. I didn't even know about that.
Well, we'll go back and catch that. Hopefully there's something that we can talk about tomorrow.
I just got tagged in something. Someone said, "Are you guys live while this is happening?" Yes, we are. Sorry, we didn't know.
Oh,
All right.
yep. I was tagged in it too. Damn, he's right there with Saban.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Shit.
I'd love to hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
8 more thumbs up, guys. Let's go. Jared, has a coaching hire ever made this much difference this fast?
No way. I mean, Lincoln Riley obviously went into USC and turned things around immediately, but also
He didn't rebuild a program from the ground up.
That's not a one-win program.
Yes.
That's a USC, who's coming off of a disappointing era, but certainly not ground-up construction.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm obviously not speaking from knowing every coaching hire ever, but I truly don't think anyone has been able to go and change the perception of a place so quickly. I mean, this is from laughing stock, which I can say, to top tier, at least in terms of relevancy.
Look at the names they're being included with in these top 10s and top 8s, man. TCU though, Sonny Dykes had a hell of a turnaround this year.
Sheesh. How many games did they win last year though? 5?
I believe 4.
4 or 5. I think it was 5 actually.
Okay.
But that's impressive. That is impressive, especially considering they fired
the guy who built their program.
The program.
Yes.
That being said, I don't know. Like, was Duggan on campus before he got there, or did he bring him in?
No, Duggan's been there.
So
yeah,
maybe a little bit of a trickle down effect.
Mm-hmm. Quentin Johnston was there too. Some nice building blocks.
Certainly.
From Dom with the Yusuf commit, who's your front 5? I don't think it's changed from when we did this Thursday or Friday last week.
It's nice to have that competition. If he wins one of those spots, then you say, wow, he's the truth.
Yeah.
But I'm with you.
We had Tank, Jada or Wilty, I believe, Van Wells, Tyler Brown, Savion Washington.
I like it. I think we win Jada.
Jada?
Which I would lean.
For sure. 200, let's go, guys.
Clutch. I think that's a 4. Well, actually, we only started keeping track 4 times ago, but it's at least a 4-show streak.
Oh, well, have you gone back and looked at how high they get after the fact?
Oh, yes. Because all the people who don't watch the show live and can't watch the show live come through and show love afterwards, which we appreciate.
It's been amazing. Nicholas, any news on the start of spring practices? Haven't heard, man. Trust me, I'm waiting to hear too.
He wants to know, man. You might have to DM him when the news comes through.
Yeah. Who's next? We got 2 from Jamel. This is one for you, Ryan. Why do you call it CU if it's the University of Colorado?
Great question. And I think this must have come up on a well-off video this weekend.
It did.
Someone's video.
Yeah, because I saw a whole breakdown of it. Yeah.
I saw people tweeting about this at Shiloh and Shador. Essentially, when the Big 8 formed, all of the abbreviations that the teams were going to use were already taken. UO was being used by Oregon. UC was being used by the California schools. You're starting to get my point here. So all of the teams in the Big 8 decided to flip it around. Think of it. CU, OU, NU, KU. Exactly. So that's the long and short of it. They wanted to be a little bit different. They didn't want to just be UC just because that had already been done. And in hindsight, it was like a genius branding thing.
Yeah.
Because no one even thinks of like Clemson if you say CU.
Right.
Because I don't think anyone calls it that there. I've met a couple people from Nebraska who thought I was talking about Creighton, but it's few and far between there. So it turned out to be a genius decision. I mean, obviously OU is a iconic college football brand. Why can't I think of other teams that were in the Big 8?
Well, don't they call
we
it
named plenty.
UT for Texas? They don't call it TU, do they?
That is true, but they kind of just call it Texas.
Right.
Like they don't really go with the abbreviation ever. Even if you looked at like the bottom of the scoreboard, I would assume it would just say like TEX instead of UT.
Yeah, who else was in the Big 8?
I think we at least got 6 of them.
We got most of them. Zach, worst to first.
It's going to be tough.
Very tough. Cam Rising's coming back too, we learned today.
God.
I know. I know.
It's going to be tough. What is Cam Rising doing? What does he have to show in college football?
I don't know, man. He's been there for so long.
Yeah.
He started as a true freshman.
It almost feels like an admission that like the NFL might not be there might not be any glory for him at the NFL level, which might be true. So take in the glory while you can at Utah.
Okay, he's been starting since 2020 when he was first classified as a sophomore. Of course, the last 2 years, so now he will be a senior. Same thing with Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix kind of sees the writing on the wall with the NFL and was like, yeah, I'll just come back to Oregon again.
I mean, it must be awesome to be the starting quarterback of a good college football program.
Right.
That being said, you only have so many reps of football in your career that if you do want to make it happen at the next level, I would say that you would want to do it as as soon as possible. That being said, what can you do?
I have some bad news. USF transfer running back Brian Beatty commits to Auburn.
No. Damn,
Yep.
we wanted him.
Bummer.
But I want smoke.
Want all the smoke.
I want all the smoke. I want smoke from Kentucky. I want smoke from A&M.
Yep.
All the smoke. Give me all the smoke.
All the smoke. They've had some hard luck on these running back transfers, man. Ray Davis, they didn't get from Vandy, and it seemed like they had a shoe and connect with Darius Darden-Box there, and Corey Phillips. That didn't come out. Now Beatty.
It kind of feels like the options have been getting better, though, although Beatty was electric.
Yeah, and then
Maybe I don't know, there's different thoughts you could have on this, but with that one specifically, maybe he thought, like, you guys already have your change of pace speed back. Like, I don't want to come in and compete with Dylan Edwards. I don't know if that's the case, but
if that is, that may actually be a good thing because it means Dylan Edwards is already putting people on notice.
He should.
Can't wait.
I think he's going to be quite possibly the fastest back in the conference the second that he sets foot on campus.
He might be the fastest player in the conference.
Might be the fastest back in the nation.
Yes. One more super chat from Bacon and Cash. What is up, man? Can we get a Rob J commit to the show soon?
Irons are in the fire.
Yes, soon. He'll be back.
Irons are in the fire. We have more still? Okay.
That's it. Anything else?
Nope. I think, like I said earlier in the show, it's only going to get better this weekend.
Yep. And then we'll have the usual 3 or 4 commitments pile in after we end this show.
Yep, exactly.
It's going to be fun. I'll catch up on well-off stuff today. We'll talk about that a bit more tomorrow if you want to do the same, I guess.
Oh, yeah, Missouri, Oklahoma State, Iowa State. But the state schools don't really count because they're already Oklahoma State University.
Right.
But Missouri.
Are they MU?
Like it's another one where they just go by Mizzou.
Right, true.
All right.
That's it. All right, guys. Another super
buzzer
chat.
beater.
Sean again. The NIL opportunities for both smokes in Colorado. Great point,
it's so
Sean.
Good. It's so good.
Oh, that's awesome. Primers on with Nick Saban. We know. We're going to go catch up now. All right, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.